Good day from WA. Hi, this is Julie. Welcome to my channel. And thank you very much to everyone for commenting on my video asking for help to decide which journal I should make. So thank you to all who commented, and we have 13 people who chose Lotta, the lacy Lotta, and 9 people chose the grungy woodland nature journal, but most people said they wouldn't mind either. So it seems that Lotta is more popular than I thought it would be. So most of these goodies were originally unboxed on my Thrifty Thursday of 21st of October. I can leave the link below. We unboxed a whole pile of wonderful yummy goodies. I had the idea of making either a grungy nature journal or a lovely lacy vintage ladies kind of journal. And then in the next video I asked people to vote for which one they want to make. And that's what we're up to now. So Lotta was the one that won the vote, and yeah, I just thought I'd explain that because now that I'm editing it, if this is your first time here, you'd have no clue what's going on. So there you go, on with the video. Thank you. I am calling it Lotta, or Lovely Lotta, or Lotta and her friends. It may or may not be only Lotta. It depends how many images and things I can find. So far I can just find these. I have found a few more. Haven't edited them and printed them yet, so there may be some new images, but I do really like this one. I don't know, I think I might like to maybe tint this one pinkish. Apparently she had red hair so doing the journal pink might not have matched her color scheme, but we don't have any color photographs of there's this one here where they've kind of, well, still not red hair. She looks like she's got blonde hair. Most of the time she looks like she's got quite dark hair, but she apparently had red hair and very unruly and thick and difficult to control. But for the front cover, these two pictures are also very pretty. I wish I could find one like this, you know, with Lotta. I think this one is actually a really gorgeous image. It's going to depend on whether I want to go with the aesthetics of how it looks, the pinks and the blues, or whether I put the actual Lotta, but we're going to decide that later. I'm not at the stage of deciding the actual picture. We just know there's going to be one. These are the items that we all enjoyed and wanted to see on this journal. That's annoying. I had a bag to open. Yeah. Alright, so on my video I noticed that this was upside down. I picked it up and put it to the side and I didn't bother opening it. So I haven't opened it, but I saw on the video it had blue lace. It came from one of the recent op shops. So let's just have a look and see what this is. I want to cut the lace. Let's see what it's like. Oh well, look, there you go. We've got the pretty pink and the pretty blue. Wow. That's just gorgeous. So, well, there you go. I think we're certainly covered for pretty laces. So I pulled out all the ones that I'd seen in the packaging that that we could use. I found this too, one in the plastic bag of trim that was just all piled in. So yeah, it's nice to have some extra sort of blue and green. And I thought this was nice too, with more vintage colour. So I liked this one. So I've added that into the little pile. These items were already there. Which one we use of these, and we may not be able to use either. I don't really know how that's going to work. What I'm going to do as we go forward is I'm going to come on when I've gone ahead with the journal or gone ahead with the decisions. Before I get too far ahead, I wanted to sort of, you know, come and say that we're starting the journal and we're off and running kind of thing. All I've done is trimmed this down to a, you know, to the size that we can, the maximum size that we, or the minimum size that we can cut it down to. But what I had the problem of was this is so big. This is an A4 page folded. Fold it this way and just get it slightly lighter, and look how much smaller it is. So I'm thinking, oh, if I make this, put this on the, I'll either have to cut the flowers off, which I really don't want to. I mean, this trim, it just matches this so beautifully. I just think this is lovely. I've got this paper here that I might use for the inside covers inside the journal cover. Thought it also matched really well too. I need to get bigger paper. I'm okay with the ledger paper because I can make that any size I like. So I can get that ledger paper and this ledger paper. So that's okay because that's, you know, bigger size. So we've got ledger paper, okay. We've got this encyclopedia because it's from 1880s. I want to use that in this journal. But I'm not having any other pages that, you know, like text pages that aren't from that era. So the fact that this is from that era, I'm going to have those in there. So they're my really, you know, really old vintage papers. She was born in 1847 and she died in 1924. So that's the period that, you know, we can, I want to look at including in the journal. So I've been hunting through my stash to find bigger papers. I've got this huge paper. It was a scrapbook. So this is from 1981. Obviously it's not from 1881. But it's a scrapbook and the paper's gone very kind of faded blue. And I just thought, well, if we're having some blue theme, that might work. So I can cut this down to size. I've got this old manuscript paper. So then my issue was, what's the cover going to be? Well, I actually went into my stash and this book is called Energy into Power. Look at this. We'll make a beautiful steampunk journal. It's already got the inside covers done. It seems a shame to cover up these. They're so good. Anyway, I don't have a steampunk journal on my list, but if you're looking for a steampunk that's got inside covers already, Energy into Power by Sterland. I picked this one because it fits perfectly. I can fit this on the front cover. You know, obviously I'm going to cover this with fabric or something, but I can fit that on there, which means that's the cover, that's the journal. It's this is A4 paper. I need big papers. Okay, so I've got that. That's how far I've got with papers. Oh, I've got lots of papers here, but they're not big. That's what I'm up to at the moment. I haven't really got very far, but I just thought I would start the video process. The video is probably going to be like a bit of a video log. So as I progress and make decisions and get further along, I'll come back on again. So these are the kinds of pages we've got so far. So I've got an Edith Holden out. I can get more, but I just picked this one because it has all images. Now I know it's not Lotta. However, in her retirement, she retired in 1891, but more particularly after her mother died, 1905. And this was 1905, 1906. So she might have actually crossed paths with Edith Holden. Who knows? Edwardian ladies, Victorian ladies, in their spare time, that's what they did, especially if you were a woman of leisure and a woman of means, as obviously Lotta was. By the time she retired in 1890, she was the richest actress in America. So she did rather well. Anyway, so back to the pages. I will get distracted by the story quite often. So we've got some Edith Holden. We've got some rose pictures that I would like. I'm not including all of these. I've got all those ones out because sometimes I can't include these in journals because they're too tall. But if I'm going to have a tall journal, I might as well use some of my rose pictures. And anyway, just for some pretty. Of the old pages, I have the encyclopedia pages, which I'm going to use in there because this encyclopedia is from the 1880s. So I figured that's going to go in this journal. This one is from 1906, I believe, 1909. So this ledger page, 1905, 1909. So she went to France. She might have gone to Germany too. I thought I had more than that, but I'll have a look and see if I've misplaced it. We have some German, really old German music paper. I actually think this book is from the early 1900s. Schubert. The book is really old looking. And then there's this one. We have some plain manuscript, just really nice thick paper. So these are the pages I've picked because they're large size, so I can cut them to size to fit that journal cover. And then of course we have our piece de resistance, our Lotta order sheets. I looked on here for anyone who might have ordered the cards that are in those pictures, but I couldn't find them. I looked for John C. Boyd. I didn't actually look for Elmer Chickering, but I would remember that name. I went through it a few times looking for the names of the people on the cabinet cards, but they didn't order on these sheets. But never mind. Lots of people ordered Lotta cards in lumps of 25 to 100. So that's where we got the idea of this journal from. And so we've got plenty of ledger pages for this journal. I have this piece of well, quite a few pieces that I can use either as the part of the cover and then decorate it, or not the cover but the inside cover. Found a few pages that were already printed that I could include or may not include. It will depend on how so these are from all sorts of kits, just leftover pieces, and so they may or may not get included, but I've got those. And then copy papers you've seen before, but they're quite dark, so I won't be including. Well, I've got these 3 pieces, so maybe I'll just include those. I don't know, but I could always decorate them up. And then I've got my coffee paper, and then I've got some different coloured dyed paper that I created. So I just picked out a little bit of the different colours that I have there. I have some of this sort of, I don't know what it's called. It's kind of like mulberry paper. It's kind of like homemade paper. Different colours there. I don't know if I use the green. I might put that in the other one. But yeah, certainly these ones I'd like to use. So it's not all like pale pink. I think tones of pink and blue is fine. I don't know if I like that one. Let's put that aside. Don't think I want that kind of green. I've got this paper, which I have no idea where that came from. It's like vellum, thick vellum. So that's okay. I've got this pale green. That might be okay. Some more of this kind of paper in a white colour. I've got this gold. Now, I've got some gold playing cards and this gold, and we're going to have gold appearing in this journal. Why? Because people used to literally throw gold on the stage as tips to her. They got so rich. Lotta and her mother would go around doing their shows in the gold mining areas of Northern California, and when they first started on the stage, it was common for them to throw little tiny nuggets of gold. And apparently the story goes that, and the mother was the manager, she would sweep the stage to make sure she didn't miss any of the little gold nuggets that were thrown at Lotta, literally, during her performance. All right, sorry, back to the paper. So that's what we're using. We're using some gold throughout the journal. Now, I know these need to be trimmed off or covered up. That's fine, but it's just some pale pink paper. I'm not sure about the yellow now. It doesn't really fit. I have this draw liner paper. That's a nice big size. I can make that work as a page. There's this one. It's a sort of a pale green. Again, I'm not sure if I want to use that or not. I just pulled out anything that I thought looked vintage, pastel-y coloured. These are just, I don't even know where I got these from, just in packs from op shops. It's double-sided though. It's got pale pink dots, and I don't really think I want green, so I can take that out already. And then I also have some slightly larger papers. They might fold. Let's see, where's our thing? No, so even the Daphne's Diary folded this way is still too small for this journal. So I certainly have an issue creating pages. But what I might do is hinge them. Follow Your Dreams actually works really well for this journal, because Lotta and her mother, I mean, Lotta was very fixated on her dream from 6 years old, and eventually was able to convince her mother, and with the help of her acting and dancing teacher, that that was the way they should go. Very, very focused on her career and her love of dancing, singing and acting. So she definitely followed her dreams. So that's definitely a theme for this for this journal. Nice. So yeah, I can maybe hinge these, turn them into pages. Hinge those two, and then there's these two. So these are all gorgeous pages that come out, often come from the back of Daphne's diaries. Again, they're kind of floral botanical, but you know, this is really nice. Watercolor. Don't mind that one, but I'd have to get rid of the cherubs. But, you know, I could put a picture of Lotta in here and take that out. It's very thin, that one. I don't know what that is. Very thin paper. So, and that one's really nice. I think that fits. So that's all the Daphne's diary type papers. So I think with all of it, I've probably got other papers I can print off as well, but I think I can probably get enough out of this. I think with this journal cover, I was only going to do one signature, but I'm probably going to have to do two in this. Don't really want to go as far as 3. The spine is, it's going to be about 3 inches. So I'd prefer 2 signatures. I prefer 1, but I think in that size spine I'm going to need 2 signatures. So anyway, that is what we're up to so far. I wonder what purple looks like. All right, so I'm ready to think about covering the book. I could have just gone over the top of this, however it's the glue's coming apart, it's coming undone, and underneath the cover needs re-gluing anyway. I don't want to have loose things underneath because things will just lift. So I could have just glued these edges down, but I also need to glue these parts too. So it's going to be awful because I'm not going to enjoy this. But I'm going to have to rip this off. So here goes. At least rip it off to where it's glued, and yeah. So because otherwise it's just gonna, these bits are just the dried glue part is just going to come up. But if it's stuck down, it's stuck down. But wherever it's not stuck down, it's going to have to come up, I think. That's the way I'm doing it anyway. It's the right way. And maybe sanding it or something to smooth that down, I think. Just need it to be well stuck. It doesn't have to be all taken off. So I'm just going to neaten up this edge. And as I say, this is not going to be a fast process. You won't get you won't get the whole journal made in a day. It will just be a project. For me, it's a project. I don't make journals in a day. And since I started this project, I have a new project, and that is called Cadbury the dog, who is creating a lot of work, I have to say. Trying to sort out how to, well, not feeding him is not a problem. Feeding the cat and getting the cat in and out, making sure she's happy, giving her some time, giving her access to me and the rooms without this giant dog in the way. It's yeah, it's a project, you know. Plus taking the dog for a walk at the moment, well, this twice a day. I don't know if twice a day will go forever, but at the moment I'm keenly enthusiastic to get fit and exercise. He doesn't seem as excited about walking, I don't know, as I thought he would be. But anyway, never mind. Mum says it's because he's an older dog, and I feel he might be older than what, I don't know, could be wrong, but he just seems a little bit older than 8 to me. I think he might be 10, possibly 12. He was as quiet as a mouse for the first day or two. Then he started to make little noises yesterday. He didn't make a noise for the first 24 hours at all. Like not even a whimper or a cry, he just kept quiet. Yesterday he started with a bit of whimpering. And just now he started with the full-on woof bark. because he wants to be let in. So I'm deliberately not letting him in when he barks. I sort of wait, hopefully, so he doesn't associate barking with coming in and getting his own way. On the other hand, I don't want to annoy the neighbours and have him barking, so he's starting to assert his authority, I have to say. So I'll have to make sure that I'm top dog. So yeah, fun and games. But he does, one thing that's good in a sense is that he doesn't like being told off. So he is kind of eager to please, probably more so because he doesn't like the telling off part. So that's good. He knows a few commands. He seems to know sit. I didn't think he did, but he does seem to. He sits for his food. He walks really well on the lead. Very good. Doesn't pull me, which is great because I can't handle a strong dog. So now I'm going to glue down. I'm not going to see what, this is what I do. This part here, I will leave loose. And what I will do is I'm going to put some reinforcing cardboard in here and tuck it underneath. And then you can glue that down. In fact, I might even not glue it down until we put the signatures in. And then I might be able to tuck the top of the cardboard from the signature in here. Not so much the signature, but the spine part, the inner spine part, and tuck that under there. So if I'm doing that, then I probably don't need to, I probably don't want to cover it too much. So I'm going to be covering it. Alright, so before I glue anything down, I'm going to I need to cut a piece of cardboard for that. These file folders are pretty strong, but I think this will be fine just to shore this up a bit. So I just need a piece that long. And there, I'm just going to cut this off at the top, and then I will use the and I'm just going to cut it by hand because we're not going to see it. It's just it should be good enough. Yeah, I think that'll help, and that's just the first layer of shoring it up, and then we'll get the other layer in to make it even stronger. I'll probably get some squishage out, but that doesn't matter. All right, I'm going to tuck it under here and under here, just to give it a little bit extra strength. Okay, just going to make sure it's firmly pressed in. Let that dry before I start to sort of move it or anything, because it's best to let the bit of glue solidify. Get some of this under here. It's going to squish out. In some ways it's probably easier to start with a fresh cover. Then you don't have all these sort of dramas. Just want to make sure that these pieces are stuck down, because otherwise when I roll over and try and stick things to it, it's just going to... This one's unglued all the way. Might use some clips to hold this, because the length might want to pop back up. I'll try to make sure it's in the center. Okay, and we're just going to start with the yeah, we're going to put it in the center of this because it's flexible. That should be okay. And then on the spine. Now, because I'm going to be covering it with lots of lace, and you'll hardly see this calico. The calico, or whatever it is that I'm using, this cotton, is really only just to cover the sides and the edges, so that we're not, you know, we don't have the green. So let's just make sure it's everywhere. Okay, just a couple of seconds, not long. So I had it in the right place. So I'm just going to roll that on there and press it down. We can add into here. If you're going to be seeing some of the fabric, you're going to need to use thicker fabric. I did have thicker fabric. Where is it? I had this one, which would have been brilliant because it's got kind of like it's like curtain material. It's got that backing, and I thought that would be great. But however, this book is already quite thick. It's already got, you know, these thick corners. By the time I put thick fabric over the top, I just thought that it wouldn't look so good. So I'm going for thinner fabric, but I'm going to get seepage apparently. So I just have to be very careful on the edges. Start with the back. I'm right-handed, so we're going to do it this way. So I'm going to do a little bit at a time because it dries fast, and I want to be able to sort of smush it down and tighten it a little bit. So I'm just going to go a couple of inches at a time, smush it, even though the smushing is still causing it to bleed, but that's because it's quite thin. The smell is quite unpleasant. This is the front, and the front, well, the front definitely won't see anything because it's going to have that big flower over the top of it. So it really doesn't matter. It really is just the edges, going over the edges of the corners that we don't want seepage. Okay, careful not to get too much at the edge because we might see this edge at the front of the book. So we're going to smoosh that out really well, the edges. I'll probably put in lace, and you won't even see this. This is just get rid of the green, really. Smooth. All right, now we're going to do these edges because these won't have any effect on that. I'm going to do that. This one's a tiny bit long. I like the frayed edges because it helps to minimize the line that you get when you put the paper on top. So this is half the thickness that it would be if it was just a straight line, because you're taking away the frays. Okay, so we're just going to do the corners. I like to just put a little bit of glue right on that corner and fold up that little edge up to here, hold it in place, and do the same on this side. See, the Fabri-Tac or this fabric glue, you know, gets tacky a lot quicker. Hold it right over on that corner. Now we can glue this down. It'll be covered up by paper. I think we can start in the middle. Okay, little interruption, some extraneous noises, and the cat heard me going to the front door, and hopefully she will now learn to go in and out of the front door rather than the back patio, because the back patio is now occupied. And if I can train her to use the front, then she can come in. I can keep the dog out the back when she wants to come in and give her better access. So she's quite happy at the moment because he's outside. She won't be happy when he comes in. All right, that's the front. All right, so that's that. Not perfect, but what we are doing with this now, well, not now, but at some stage, because for a minute I thought it didn't fit. I thought, oh my god, don't tell me. But I already made this go to size, so that's going on there. Now we can have this as the background. It did look nice, however, and there is this little picture which I can almost make fit. Now but the funny thing is, I found this picture. This picture must be like copyright free, because it's in found it on Etsy, saw it in a digital and downloaded it, and I thought, well, that's just quick and easy. So I'm thinking I've just printed up these versions of her, a few different ones. I think I don't know if I like this size better. It's got a bit more border. Or do I like the one that says that's full? I think that's a tiny bit too big. So I want something in between those two, I'm thinking. Not those two, I've got so many. I meant the printer wouldn't print anything, it printed out 3. So that's what it does. I've got 3 copies of this. I think that looks a bit better, like she's in the frame. This one looks a bit like she's filling it up too much. And if some lace falls over the edge, it won't cover her up so much. So that's the size we want. And the thing is, I thought that looked a lot better than... I couldn't get the Lottas to work. Let's just cut this off. So we don't need the glue. All right, so one side is going to be like that. But I've got this idea. So I like this girl with this. So whether it goes on the front or the back, I don't know. So, because I was thinking, does it have to go on the front or does it have to go on the back? So I have this idea. The thickness of the spine definitely would take 2 or 3 signatures. I was only going to do one, you see, so I really should have done like just a folded one. So what I thought was I would do 2 good sized signatures and maybe put something in the center, like a bag or something, a folded bag to hold ephemera. And I'm going to, this is my idea, this will be one side with the girl. This is going to be called Lotta and Friends, and this will be the Friends side. And then what was the Lotta picture that we liked? But you know, I don't know, this one's, I don't know, but as soon as I put this one in, I really liked it. It's softer. I just think she looks gorgeous. I tried photographing it, it didn't photograph well, so let's see how we go with this one. I quite like this one. So therefore we wouldn't be having, because this frame takes up all the room, we won't be having a doily on this side, but I don't know, we may end up with something on the other, on ivory, not dark, so it's whether or not I have that, something like that or something like this. That's quite nice. And then of course there's the pink. I need to use more, so I do think that is just absolutely gorgeous. I just think it looks so nice with these pink flowers. Totally matches her hat, you know, whether it just goes on the corner, just dangles down around each side of her hat, or along the top edge, all the way along the top edge. This is the winner, and this will be on one side of the journal. Now I had this idea. Okay, so this is not Lotta. At the moment I'm thinking of using either this one or this one. What I'm thinking is 2 signatures, one front, second front, and use a Lotta picture with, oh, there's the other one too, but no, I wanted one that actually tells us it's Lotta. The only thing about this one, it must be the front cover of a book. And I can print it bigger or smaller, it doesn't matter. But that kind of idea is that I have 2 signatures, and this one becomes the front of the journal and goes through a signature, and then you turn it over and that's Lotta's Friends. It's going to be friends and maybe other actresses, friends and fans, basically, fans and actresses. So that's my idea for that. So then I can decide, I can have this, I can have another one like this and put her in one, like maybe one that's less. I can have one, you can have a double one, but you can get on the back, you get these white ones, clear ones, not that one in particular, but you know, you can go with doing it that way and have a couple of pictures of Lotta, maybe do it that way, and that becomes the Lotta side. Possibilities. Or you can still have flowers if you wanted to sort of match in with the other side so that it's not too different. Let's say we're having the red-haired one. I don't like the red-haired one with the pink flowers, because she actually has got red hair, so I thought I'd give her red hair. And not that one, but maybe this one. So that would go on the other side. What's next in this little game? So yeah, I'm sorry if the video is a bit, I don't know, disjointed. It's been filmed on loads of different days and so much has happened in between. Anyway, so I'm not really even too sure where I'm up to exactly. All I know is that I was pretty much, last thing I said I think was it was time to start doing the pages, and I do want to do the pages, but I just wanted to sort of be clear that this is probably going to be, no, probably this is going to be one of the front covers, and then I'm going to flip it, and that will also be a front cover. So what I need to do now is find another board like this. So because I'm thinking, I mean, I love the doilies. I could go with the doilies on this side, but I just kind of feel like for cohesiveness and similarity, I think I'll just use like lace trim. So therefore what we need to do next is find another one of these that we think will go nice either with the, I think that's my favorite Lotta picture, either in the black and white. So I edited the wrong photo, so I need to edit this one to be like this one. But because I've done it kind of reddish, because she had sort of red hair, I'm not too sure that I've got flowers that will match. So I'm going to go through this book with you. You know, it's a case, I mean, I can print it whatever size I like. I can print it bigger. I wanted one that had a name on it and one where I liked the photo. So I'm not keen on the yellow, so I'm going to say no to that. I could also use the reverse of them, you see, and have a more plain one, and then use lace and trim on that. However, I just still think that it would look nice to have something similar to the other front. I could also do it smaller. No, I don't want a smaller one. If I'm doing the orange hair or the reddish hair, that's not going to work. So we can delete all the ones that are not going to work, so that's fine. Purple might be nice. Does purple go with red hair? I'm not too sure whether it does. No, I don't like that. What about the black and white one? So it might be that when I put it in place, I don't like. No, the black and white one is going to go with anything. So if I don't like the red hair with any of these flowers, I'll probably switch back to this the black and white photo. And it does give it that older look too. So I do quite like that one. Let's put a marker on the pages that we like. So there's that purple one. Not really keen on yellow. I could do 2 photographs. No, decided against that. So, and then there's this one that's quite nice, but I'm not too sure if I like that on the front cover. All sort of spiky, so no. You know, it's yellow again, not keen. Any of these backs I really like, so like that one's nice. That one's quite nice. Let's put a marker in that one. And there's a lot of yellow ones in this one. This one. So that's going to be going on that side. That one might work quite well because that would be on the front. I have got to trim it down. That will be on the front right corner. And then I could have the lace and stuff down here. That's another possibility. And that would be the same. Still a slightly different shape, but kind of need these long ones to get the name in. Small one. I mean, I can print her up smaller so that it fits in. That one's nice. So, you know, kind of like gives it a bit more of a theme. That one's blue and pink, and that one's purple. So, what's the other purple one? Oh, it's the same. Viola. Oh, I didn't think there were 2 the same in here. Just a different shape. Well, I think I prefer the round one. I think that one looks more modern. So let's say no to that one and put this one back in. I didn't realise they were the same. And that's it. Okay, well, actually I think that's kind of like easy. Cut that off there, and then, you know, you can have that would be the front and that would be the back. So what do you think? I don't think the red one goes with any of them. I wanted to give her kind of red hair. I don't really like that. I would probably only do the red hair if I was doing a plainer one, and then adding lots of lace and stuff on the back. So, you know, that would make it kind of similar but different. So let me know what you think. This one's a definite. This is going on one. This is Lotta's friend. This is going to be Lotta's friends and just full of vintage ladies. And this is going to be Lotta, mostly about Lotta and using the cabinet cards that I can find of her, and maybe using, you know, historical images, the gold mining, the theatre, that kind of thing in her side. So plain and add lace and trim, or with the red hair, or it could still be the black and white hair. And that is, you know, with lots of lace, you can use white lace, or it's kind of like weddingy ones. You tell me what colour trim you want me to use. What about that rosy one that I picked up? That's nice. Let's go down this track. Okay, so I just pulled out a bunch of trims that might work with, this is a new one, I don't remember this one. Something different. There's this. So this is that collar that I found. This one was said it was vintage. Oh, that might be nice. Something different. I do like this. Plenty of that. Kind of like orange. Apricot. I've got some of that. This is a bit darker. Oh, and this one's quite nice. So yeah, lots of lace. So we could have one side sort of blue and pink, and we could have the other side kind of more neutral vintage. That might be nice with the black and white. Very yummy. And so that gives it a bit of difference. You know, you have one side and then you'll flip it over and you have the other. So let me know what you think. Do you agree with that concept? And so we could go with, as I say, this sort of neutralish type color scheme, or we can go with, and so say we go with purple. Now the thing is, because obviously there'll be the spine, well, we could still do that. That could still be on the spine, and wrap underneath around the back of it. So there's that. I don't know if that kind of matches. It's a bit slightly different shade. Kind of does go with the photo. I'm not too sure it goes with that, unless we go that way and have some purple. So many options. Oh dear, it could take me a month of Sundays to decide this. But I do have some pretty purple trims, but I'm just not sure that they, I'll take that one away and see if that goes with this one. I don't think they do. Oh, these purple and white ones might. Well, they kind of like don't look very vintage. No, I think, yeah, no, I think I'm tending towards the vintage black and white with all of this yummy stuff. Yeah, let me know if you agree. That's pretty much probably what it's going to be. Let's move on. We're supposed to be doing the pages. I keep getting distracted by all of this yummy stuff. Well, I think I'll actually end the video here. It's getting quite long, so let's call this one part 1. I will put up part 2, which will have looking at the pages, creating the signature, and possibly even sewing it in. So the journal will be ready to decorate and play with all the lace and trimmings and all that kind of thing. That'll be fun. Looking forward to that. I hope you enjoyed the process so far of my Lotta and Friends journal, and I'll see you in part 2. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.